Hey, I'm Mark Oberg with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices Beach Properties of Florida. And today, it's September 2025, and I am bringing you a market analysis for Latitude at Watersound, commonly known as Latitude Margaritaville Watersound. Today, I'm going to be going over the resale market, and I'll also touch a little bit on new home sales. Let's talk about the market overall. Here in the Panama City Beach area, home values have declined very slightly, anywhere from 1 to 1.5%. That is due to the amount of inventory and months of inventory that we have on hand for the limited pool of buyers. A big contributor to that is high interest rates. There's a lot of buyers out there. I get to see it every Monday when I parse the market for my sellers. I get to see that there's a large pool of buyers out there just waiting for good things to happen in the real estate market before they ultimately decide to purchase, whether it's resale or new home sale. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to be going over resales and new home sales, and we're going to start off with the Cottage collection. First, I need to get rid of me on the screen so I don't block the data here. All right. So, I'm going to be touching on average resale sold price. What does that mean? That means I took every bamboo that has sold so far this year, resale, and come up with the average sold value. Every single camellia, you're getting the drift. Every single floor plan, every single collection, I've broken it down like this. Estimated average new home sold price. First and foremost, it's rounded to the nearest thousand. It includes the average lot premium value, the average upgrade path that buyers take per floor plan, and the current list price as of when I parsed the data in September 2025. Let's get to it. The average resale sold price right now for a bamboo is $388.83. The estimated average new home sold price for a bamboo is $390. So there's a little bit of savings there to be had getting a resale. Plus, you can get into it much sooner than you can if you were to go new homes. Camellia. The average resale price right now is $388.17. The estimated average new home sold price is $400. Dreamsicle, $456.489 and $425. I'm going to give you a little bit more information on that when I do the Aloha prices down below. Hula. The Hula and the Mango came online last year. The first one's closed about a year ago. In October, I believe, is when the first closings took place on those floor plans. One resale so far in the Hula, it was $392, and the estimated average new home is $427. Mango, I could not find any resale data on it. The estimated average for a new home is $430. The Aloha, the average resale sold price, not estimated, but the average resale sold price was $456,800, and the estimated average new home sold price is $435. Now, the Dreamsicle and the Aloha are far greater than new homes, and there's a reason for that. The current crop of new cottage lots do not have available to them a pond or a preserved view or a combination of. Whereas some of the resales in phases 2 and 4 specifically, sometimes in 3, for cottages, do have a possibility of having a view other than looking at another cottage, a villa, a beach collection, or a island collection home. It might actually look at something. Those resales where they do have a nice premium lot sell for much higher, thus making the average higher than what you would expect. So that's why we're seeing good numbers on those resales. Of course, it could be better if market conditions were better. Now let's talk about inventory for cottages in September 2025. When I parsed this data, there were 31 active cottage listings. Sold 33 year to date. That gives us an inventory of 7.8 months in the resale market alone. That's not adding new home sales. Let's talk about them real quick. So right now the sales center is offering custom choice, move in soon, move in ready. Custom choice, that's where they select the group A's and build up through the drywall phase, allowing buyers to pick their group B's or their finishings, floor, wall color, cabinets, counters, stuff like that. Move in soon, that's, well, they've made some selections for. They may have chose the cabinets, they may have chose the countertops, but they maybe haven't chosen the trim package or the flooring or the wall colors or anything like that. Move in ready, practically a done finished house. Much fewer upgrade paths on that through the sales center. Maybe the wall colors, maybe a trim package. It varies from floor plan to floor plan, excuse me. Now, why are these becoming very prevalent now in the market? They started in 2024, they're continuing in 2025. It's real simple. The Dreamsicle and Alohas go on under contract at a pretty good clip when somebody's wanting a cottage. And that's because, one, those cottages may have a view. It may be a green belt. It may be a little bit of a green belt between you and your neighbor, but it has a little bit more of a view. Additionally, the Dreamsicle and Aloha offered hobby rooms or dens, which is why they brought on the hula and the mango, because demand was showing that most people that wanted a cottage wanted that extra flex room, den, hobby room, whatever you want to name it. They were hoping that it was there. They even offered kind of a upgrade path in the Camellia where they called the dining room a study. So they tried to match consumer demand by making these changes. However, if they get a Dreamsicle under contract, for example, and they can't get its roof mate, whether it's a bamboo, a camellia, a hula, or a mango under contract, in a certain period of time, they will not hold the buyer that put their deposit down already back. They're not going to hold them back. So they will build it, and it'll either become a custom choice, move in soon, or move in ready. And to me, it appears like it's going in stages. It'll be custom choice. If nothing happens, they do a little bit of stuff to it, see if that entices buyers. Then they do even more stuff to it, try to get sold. That plays into why there's no available lots right now in Phase 9 that they're advertising at the time I parsed. But right now, they have 3 custom choice move in soon, move in ready in Phase 7 available at the time I parsed, and 19 in Phase 9. And that's because the roof mate is pretty much already under contract, and they want to move the process along. They don't want to slow building down. They don't want to slow somebody who's already purchased down. That's a respectable business model. I get it. Unreleased lots for cottages in Phase 9 are 48. So 48 more to come online. You add all of this into the existing resale market, and that is just a flooded cottage market. And that is paying dividends in that values for all floor plans, even if they have premium lots, are in declination. And I expect the value declination to continue if the Fed refuses to lower interest rates. Right now, the real estate market is the only market that's truly suffering in the United States economy. If the real estate market could perform just nominally, then our economy would go gangbusters. So let's hope the Fed comes to their senses and adjust interest rates so that all those pent-up buyers out there that want to purchase begin to purchase. Let's segue into villas. All right, here on your screen, it's the same format. I found no resale data for the Jamaica. The estimated average for a new Jamaica is $487. Antigua is the most prevalent villa floor plan, resale, and I believe new home sales. $517 to $50 is the average. Now that we're in the villas, keep in mind the average resale values are now skewed by homes with pools. So no longer is it just the upgrades, whether they have a little bit or a lot, but now you got to add into the average pools as well. And that also plays into the new estimated average for new home sold. Pool is not included. For a villa, I safely estimate, tell my folks, hey, add $130,000 to your purchase price for a villa pool. It's a safe number to tell them in this current market conditions. And again, this is all rounded to the nearest thousandths when I'm talking about estimated averages for new homes. The Lucia, Right now it's averaging 508,500, and estimated average for a new one is 515. Barbuda, I could not find any resale data at the time I parsed. Estimated average for a new one is 505. Barbuda Bay, the average resale sold price is 537 for the Barbuda Bay, and the estimated average new home is 510. Nevis, or Nevis, however you like to pronounce it, 550 is the average resale sold price so far this year, and 530 is the estimated average for a new one. Tortola, no data available at the time I parsed, and the estimated average for a new one is 497. Let's talk about inventory. Resale market. Active MLS at the time I parsed was 13. Sold MLS listings so far this year is 7. Gives us an inventory of 15.5 months. That's a very large inventory. And once I add in the new homes, it's even larger. So the custom choice move-in soon and move-in ready, they have 12 of them in phase 9. They at the time I parsed, they were advertising 6 available lots also in phase 9, and they were showing 26 unreleased lots in phase 9. So just a plethora for a prospective buyer in Margaritaville on villas if they prefer villas. Additionally, you also have to think about for resales in villas that sometimes, because of the premium lots and finishings in cottages, sometimes villas and cottages can overlap in price range. At that point, it could be, gosh, can I get more square footage but less upgrades? It becomes, apples and oranges, but you do have villas and cottages competing with each other in the resale market at this time. Let's go to Beach Collection. All right, they have so much going on here. So let me start off by first saying that the hammock and the hammock bay were renamed to the Seashell and Seashell Bay, and they brought on 2 tandem floor plans for the cabana and the cabana bay. Of course, that was 2023, 2024. But in here in 2025, they brought on 2 brand new floor plans, the Escape Bay and the Escape. I don't have any data for those right now, but that should be coming. Hopefully, I'll have some data on those the end of the year. Hopefully, they'll have one closed. That would be nice to get some data on those. But let's get started on the rest of the floor plans. So, average resale sold for Coconut was $640. And you got to keep in mind, average sale for Beach Collection homes, it's also going to start including pools. So, we're going to have the floor plan that had very few upgrades and no pool. Selling another home could have a lot of upgrades with a pool. So we're talking averages here. $640. Estimated average new home sold price, rounded to the nearest 1,000 and not including a pool, $605. Parrot, $592,975. New one, about $615. So you got savings to be had there in a Coconut and a Parrot by possibly going resale. Breeze, $588 is the average resale sold price thus far, and the estimated average new home sold price is $632. Breeze Bay average, and it is the most prevalent floor plan for the Beach Collection in the Watersound location. It's currently $742.22. A lot of them resold with pools, so that is making that value much higher average-wise. So $635 for a new one. I had no sales data at the time I parsed for the hammock. New estimated average, $630. Seashell Bay or Hammock Bay, again at the time I parsed, no average resale data, $630,000 for a new one. Cabana Tandem, no data available at the time I parsed, $643 estimated for a new one. Cabana, again at the time I parsed, no data was available, $645. I keep saying that because in the end of year 1, I guarantee you there will be data available and I'll have some average prices for you. Cabana Bay Tandem. This is one of the newer floor plans, giving you a little bit more garage space. $760 is the average. That average was skewed by swimming pools, I'll tell you that. And $650 for a new one. Again, no swimming pool. Cabana Bay, the average right now is $681, $667, whereas a new estimated average for a new one is $655. Now let's talk about the inventory for resales and new home sales for the Beach Collection. At the time I parsed, there were 11 active listings, And we had 11 sold year to date. That gives us a little over 8 months of inventory. New homes. They've got custom choice, move in soon, move in ready. They've got one advertised in phase 7, but on the interactive map, I found 4 additional that were unlisted. Active available lots published on their website is 6 in phase 7 and 10 in phase 8 at the time I parsed. And unreleased lots, 37 of them in phase 8. So again, a plethora for prospective buyers to choose from. This contributes to declining values. Are they declining fast? No. It's month over month, and it's baby steps, thank goodness. So again, average 1 to 1.5% as time goes by. Luckily, resales list price at the time of going under contract to the final closing sales price, luckily, is within a 3% swing. So it's a good ratio, decent ratio for the market. Let's talk about Island Collection. Island Collection homes seem to be the healthiest for resales, but once we add in new home sales, it does flood the market as well, but not as bad. But let's start off with average resale sold prices. The Aruba, again, these averages are skewed by swimming pools and the number of upgrades in the houses. So $863,250 is the average Aruba sold price right now, whereas an estimated average new home is $720. Again, rounded to the nearest thousandth, no pool. Now $833,750 for the St. Bart, $730 for a new one. Trinidad, I found no resale data, $735 for the estimated average new home, and the Trinidad Bay, $899, and estimated average $740. Again, no pools are calculated in here, and pools weigh heavily on these averages here for resales. Let's talk about available inventory in September 2025. At the time I parsed, there were 5 active listings, and 7 had sold throughout the year. Gives us a 6-month inventory. On the new homes, the website indicated custom choice, move in soon, move in ready. There was 1 in phase 7 I could not find that were any unpublished. They were showing 21 active available lots in phase 8 for Island Collection homes, and then 14 unreleased in 7 and 11 in 8. That is a plethora of Island Collection lots available for prospective buyers. So the market in general is flooded. So you've got a lot of resales and a lot of new home sales and a lot of new home sites available, which means for the limited number of buyers that are currently coming to the area looking in Margaritaville, they just have a lot to choose from, and they can pick and choose what they want. Typically, buyers are looking in their price range and then picking the best one that they can get. Bang for buck. That's going to wrap up this update here in September 2025 for Latitude Watersound. If you ever have any questions, I am Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices Beach Properties of Florida, premier specialist in the neighborhood. Not only that, I'm a resident. I love where I live, and I love working there. That wraps us up. Till next time. Bye now.